Shidu, Ashitea, Shawan vibrations, every bucka. May your mind, buckas, and souls be all. May your omits be sound. May your buckas be leavened off the ground when we keep to the breath, the orth, the mothor, the seon, the soul of Ra guides and keeps you old. Ayan Matata, Elai Se El Se I, Amen Ra, Christ or a chaplain. I am truth, awareness, true talk. Can be a part of the greatest transfer of Ma-El, that's intelligence, Amenology to Angodu. This is sound logic. And with all that, being a fool is absolutely your choice. To Ray is Ray 1817. Go to Google, go to Apple, download the Kagadora app. Go to jesus.com, sign up, download your iBucket to open, download your PDF of the Mathorian Kagadora. You can print it on your desktop, take it to your local printer. You could even go to amenra.com and order the poster. You can see all of our books, t-shirts, hats, mugs. Wear what the devil fear. Get access to the erectionary, because the words die your erection. That's our online decoding search engine. As you can see, we've resurrected the Bakuman cards, Sound Logic Ta'angodu decoding cards. We got number 9, the 9th entry, the 9th card. That's Karadu in Ta'angodu, because we speak motion. So come and learn how to speak sound and be in a sound mind and in a sound state, because we're seeing many, many different opportunities to recognize and realize that what is dead can no longer interface with what is life. We should be standing up, looking for erectness and correctness, not running away from it, not battling who to bow to. There's only one force that makes you stand up, and that's Ra. Ba'am and or Ra. All right. As above, so below. I was on Instagram, and I was on a post that was posted by a member of jesus.com, and he had a young fellow breaking down as above, so below. And it was, how can I say, not sound. And it's a big problem, right? Because it's good when you have the youth and everybody really trying to search, and they get to a point where they want to be in front of a camera and tell the whole world what they feel. It's like a high, it's like a drug, right? You actually think you're becoming sharper in the sense of increasing your self-awareness to the point where you want to express it and share it, when you're actually becoming dull and more wrenched into the loop. So that inspired me to not only decode it, but to create a card so I can post it on Erectionary like I have done. Now, the last video, on the last entry that I had before this, Frankenstein, believe it or not, was muted on TikTok and Instagram for 2 days. Had it stuck, wouldn't load it. I can't even remember if I tried to load it again on Instagram. But that's just going to show you how sound logic is very threatening. So let's get into it. As above, so below. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to YouTube and we're going to hear Mr. Thoth, because I believe, that quote, as above, so below, that saying came out of the Emerald Tablets. So, beautiful thing happened after I worked on that card and broke it down. I decided that I wanted to do a video, and my phone died, so I couldn't access the Instagram post that I wanted to use to make this video off of. So anyways, I went to YouTube to look for other people's meanings of as above, so below, so we can create some contrast, so I can really show you the difference between sound logic and how, with a sound mind, riddles don't exist. And so in doing that, I stumbled upon the quote from the Emerald Tablets. And so we'll listen to this, and this will help you recognize and realize why in the book The Fall of the God Hugh I have Thoth on that cover, and his hands are bound in chains, and he's got two souls confiscating his Emerald Tablets, because all of those people that you read about are the culprits. They're the original gypsies. They're the origin of the soul's downfall. Okay? They took the information they had and put themselves in front of souls as God. All right? And so you see that, people? Right? Trust me, I've gone through the school of Thoth. I've gone through most of it. Okay? But, when you have a sound mind, it's infectious on wanting to be correct. Okay? I actually love correcting myself. I read some shit and I was deleting a bunch of videos off of TikTok before I shut it down. So I was listening to some of this stuff, and there's so many things that I have evolved from, even how I was decoding things back then. Okay? I've just gotten more experience, right? And so evolution is beautiful. But here you see this, right? So this is written long before I broke this stuff down. This is published. This book's almost a year old, at least seven months old, I think, at least. So what I'm hearing from this quote is no different, because I hear the sounds. All right, so let's check this out.
Hermes Trismegistus writes in the Emerald Tablet, "True it is, without falsehood, certain and most true, that which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below. To accomplish the miracle of one only thing, it ascends from the earth to the heaven, and descends again to the earth, and receives the power of the above and below. Thus you will have the glory of the whole world. Therefore all darkness will flee from you. Through the principle of correspondence, you bring the material to the spiritual, and the spiritual back again to the material, imbuing your life with divine significance." Hermes Trismegistus writes,
All right. So that sounds very nice and poetic, eh? Well, from a sound mind, I can tell you that probably represents their Lucifer, okay, their version, especially if they're, calling it Hermes Trismegistus. So I'm going to conquer Thoth. Okay, that's why I'm ta. And I still am ta-ah-ti. Okay, just go back in my early videos, maybe a couple years ago. Okay, Instead of tata, I was saying ta-ha-ti. Okay? The ah, it's very important because sounds tell you what side you're on. Okay? If it's a flat sound, then it's most likely dealing with death. It has no soul. Okay? All right, so we're going to start off Hermes Trismegistus Rice Emerald Tablets.
In the emerald tablet. True it is without falsehood.
Okay, so true it is without falsehood. All right, so he's trying to tell you that this is it, right? So we decoded the word true the other day. Okay, you have ta, ra, and then you have burnt or. Okay, so truth is ore that has no more precious. The soul has been removed. The gold has been removed. The diamond has been removed. Okay, all the minerals and gases are gone. Okay, if it's wood, it has no more gas to burn. Okay, it's ash. It goes into a urn. Okay, so this is why this whole paradigm you're learning, I'm exposing it for what it is. This is all belonging to the word, to the parasite. Okay, and even their end game to this riddle, to this statement, okay, is the miracle of oneness, all one. Okay, because right now they are, at least at the time of them writing this thing, they share the air. Okay, what conquers or what transmits thought with Ra. You can see right there. Okay, and I believe that's like a dragon eating its tail or some kind of something like that. I don't know what that is. Looks like maybe two dragons eating each other's tail. Okay, but you got a moon, or it could be a sun, and you got moon here. Got a lot of things happening. It looks like you got two suns here, right? Okay, just like we have the double suns. Okay, so it's all about the book of mastering Ra. Okay, you can clearly see the symbology. Okay, and getting it to consume. So this is the duality. Okay, this is all that is the cause and the means and the end is to having that conflict. Okay, that exchange of energy. All right. So it is the ether. Is I say. Okay. Without, it's the same as which. You got woes to the eth. Okay, but when they spell which with the ch, they're telling you that they're dealing with the artificial ether because that's what ch means. The ch. Okay, it's like change. It's just that's what the ch means. You have the severed. The c is half of a circle. Okay, and the h stands for being casted out. Okay, so casted out doesn't mean in this case expelled, like forbidden, like kicked out of the door, evicted. It means copied, a copy of. Okay? That's what casted out means. Like you got a mold and you pour clay over it, and when it hardens, you separate the clay from the mold. Okay, so that's what casted out usually means. Okay? And then you have falsehood. That's false. Okay, that means felled. Okay? And then you have al, like algol. And then you have say. Okay? So you have the felled, algol, say. And then you have ho, so remove. And then you have od, go odd. Okay, so this is a big code right there. Okay, you have felled, you have algol, so this is the log. All right, algol, gol reverses log, al reverses la, which is the. So you're talking lay, flat log, lay, gol, lay, log, like lay, line. Okay, and then you have say, se. Okay, same sound. And then you have Ho, which is to remove from stem, remove from roots. Okay, separate from its stock, separate from source. Okay, and then you have Odd. Okay, instead of being erect, you're bowing. Okay, you're going down. Okay, and overdosing. Okay, big code. Let's go to the next page.
Certain and most true, that which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below.
Okay, so that's pretty much what they're trying to say. You take that literally until we get to my explanation. But for this, we're taking it literally. So they're basically saying if you have a mirror, okay, when you look at it, you're seeing your reflection. Okay, whatever is happening, one way is happening, in the opposite direction, perhaps. Uh, you could say like father, like son. Okay.
To accomplish the miracle of one only thing.
So this is very, very, very important into revealing the end goal, revealing that these that Tahuti wasn't working with the authority of Ra. He was working against Ra using the intelligence. Okay? This is the reality. Okay, so whoever drafted this is what they want you to find out. Okay, because this is what is being said. This is why Aleister Crowley and all of these people go by this. Okay, they want you to believe that this was from the son of Ra. Okay, like a soul, like a Ra seed. Okay, and it very may could have been. But the end of the day is I'm a Ra seed, but I'm erecting Ra. I'm not trying to bury Ra and be Ra. Okay, it's a huge difference. All right. You have to accomplish the miracle of one only thing. So it's just like being the most high or controlling the air. Okay? Like if they were living under Ra, then we wouldn't have these statements because everything would be sound. Right? We wouldn't be in this dynamic where we're writing this type of shit. We wouldn't have any of these types of goals. Right? We would be about keeping Ra erected. Just like I'm about right now, about raising the re-rise of Ra.
It ascends from the earth to the heaven, and descends again to the earth, and receives the power of the above and below. Thus you will have the glory of the whole world. Therefore all darkness will flee from you.
Okay, all right, all right. So we can see when we listen to that, okay, the poetic dynamic of conquering a thing to become the only thing. Okay, so right there we can see the conflict. Now, therefore, all the darkness will flee from you. So, do we know what darkness is? I've decoded this. So, darkness isn't for, say, you know, a state where people are unaliving and killing and all this crazy shit like right now. Okay, this is not darkness. Right? Darkness isn't like, at nighttime when the sun, isn't shining, or when the sun is not, above, or at least when you can't see it. Okay? Darkness, decoded, decipher, is disconnected from the arc. Okay? Disconnected from Ra. Okay? If we have the D, that means to detach. We have AR, which is reverse of Ra, so that's without sound. And then we have K, which is Ka. Okay? Now, when we look at the motion of an arc, because that is what's being detached, it is the distance between the severed cord. That's what creates an arc. If that distance is too far, then you can't have an arc. That means the current cannot continue to travel. Okay? So when you are an individual that is separate from sound, you're a Ka, you don't have your Ba. It's D-R Ka. Okay? Dark people. I'm explaining to you about dark people. Okay? Because I keep reminding us that we're speaking on behalf of a parasite. Right? So we all become dark because we're severed from Ra, right? But we retain enough memory or enough of our system. We're separated psychologically, okay? We're tethered genetically or biologically, but our language separates us mentally, okay? So that's what creates what appears to be the gap between the spliced cord. Okay? I hope you can get that. And so if you are dark, that means that arc has been removed. That means the gap has been pulled too far where you no longer can maintain a current. That means you're dead. Okay? And so if you're dead, then there wouldn't be any disagreement, because disagreement couldn't survive because it was cut from the cord. Okay? And if it was cut from the cord, then it can't control what is connected to the cord. So this is what I'm trying to say, that everything is backwards. Okay, somehow we've been convinced that the parasite can and, is, more authority than its host. Somehow we value death, more than we value life, right? We want to make sure when we die and, we leave things to our heirs, and, we going to Valhalla or wherever, heaven, or, everything's geared around death. Okay? So this is the death squad. Okay? Tahuti was all part of the death squad. All right? He's not part of any Raw squad. These are the Moors. Okay? This is the Moorish shit. This is Maroon shit. This is Draconian shit. Okay? These are the Dracos. Flea, Feld, and then you have Ether. Okay? You have Lee, which is like saying the, la. Feld, Ra, Okay, that's what it means. Feld, Ra, origin of motion. Okay? The word should be Ra'am. Instead of from, I'm Ra'am. I'm Ra'am. That's right. Okay? You, the same thing. You're agreeing to be burnt out. So when you say, hey, you, and you acknowledge that, that means you're agreeing to be ashed because you're earned. They just earned you. They earned your attention by calling you you. So when you're earned, they put you in an urn. Sound logic, people. Don't forget to go to jesus.com. Okay? You got to sign up. We got to start giving it where it is, because nobody before has been able to break it down and had the authority of Ra to give you sound logic.
Through the principle of correspondence, you bring the material to the spiritual, and the spiritual back again to the material.
Okay, so once again, they always put the material over the spiritual but yet they require the emotion to bring the imagination, what is thought, physical. It's like the stocks, cryptocurrency. They say, you can't be emotion. You got to leave your emotions out of trading. But yet it's the very emotions that they require to get you in and out of trades, to get you buying and selling. This is what the news and the events and everything else is all about. It's about triggering your emotion. It's like saying the cabal. This is the cabal because they put the ka before the ba. Okay, I'm the baka because I put the ba, source sound, before the ka. Okay, the ba keeps the ka. Okay, if you don't have a ba, then your ka needs to be augmented, and that's where the spirits come in, not the amits. Okay, if you recognize my mantra, I say, may your amits be sound. May your bakas be leaven off ground. Okay, we don't deal in spirits because that is a spared it. That means you have a hole in your bucket. You can't hold a full volume of ether. You're capped because you have no lid.
Imbuing your life with divine significance.
Divine. Okay, you're disconnected from the vine of life. Okay, so when you say the great divine, it's like saying the great vine of life with that you've been detached from. Okay, if you read the Ibaka Omen, you know the Ibaka Omen. The second statement is keep me elected on the great vine of on. Okay, on replaces life. More proof and evidence there with the death squad.
Hermes Trismegistus.
All right, so let's get to sound logic breakdown. Let me get my glasses here. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about now is we're going to look at this image. Okay, I think I did it here. No, it was here. Okay, so remember, as above, so below. No shine, no say. No sound, no sight. This is Ra. Ra is being obstructed by clouds, so his rays of light cannot shine. Okay, these rays carry intelligence that sustain the plasma and all minerals and gases. This is the maestro. This is the conductor, the red sun. And so these people can't see the sun. The masks over their eyes represent they have no vision. Okay, they're being obstructed. But if we understand the artificial construct and how God works, he works only through the eyes because the senses require genetic memory and motion, which is your physical experience. Whereas eyesight requires you to be programmed what you're looking at, how to respond to it is all programmed and reinforced by your environment. That's what the system is. So in order for you to understand this, I reversed it. Blocking the eyes, but they're all holding phones. These are their walking sticks if they're blind. Okay, none of these people have walking sticks. They're being guided by their augmentation because they are blocked, right? They are now receiving the energy. Their electric magnetic field is being fed by these devices, which are the augmentations. These are the applications, just like the apple in the Garden of Eden. Eden is a symbol for the parasite application. That was the augmentation that the devil said that they surely wouldn't die because it would keep them alive. It would sustain them because it was an artificial source of what was real. And so when you block Ra from shining, right, then below, sight is lost, vision is lost. Everything that is benefit from the shine is lost. Your sole purpose is your vision. Your inner vision is your soul. This is what's being recorded in memory. That is what your soul is your memory, right? No memory, no motion. No motion, no sound. No sound, no say. So let's get down to the breakdown now. All right, so we have as above, so below. The cipher for as above, so below is no say equals no sight. No shine equals no sound. When the seance shine is blocked, its rays of intelligence cannot sustain the erection of life. Without the seance sound waves, souls lose a sense of soul, purpose, which is solar vision stewardship, and can be augmented by AI, artificial intelligence. So first you cause the injury, and then you have the solution. As above, so below. No shine, no sound. No sight, no say. If Ra's not shining, his sound, which is the sound waves, solar waves, what creates motion, cannot be sensed. Right? Maybe I could even change no sense, no sight, or no sense, no say. Okay? But when you cannot see Ra, down below you can't see Ra, right? Then Ra, remember, Ra is the real authority. So if it's not present, right, then you have no say as a soul because the signal is being blocked. Your voice is Ra. Ra gives you your voice. It's like saying hooray, right? That means to remove Ray, or Ray is Ra is being removed. Who is Ho? Ho Ray. So that means remove Ray. Maybe that will be another decode card. Hooray. Pronunciation. As, ab, of, so, be, low is a reverse preemptive psychology curse that enables the source of intelligence, life, be blocked from what requires it to sustain soul purpose. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Okay? In order for the parasites to pursue their goals, they're removing the source of sustenance for life and trying to replace it with their artificial sensory intelligence. You notice all the phones, all the devices now have things to track your heart, track everything. Your hearing, they're replacing your taste, everything. Okay? The Aminolgo, as absent of say, or yeah, AS equals absent of say, AB equals no soul, reverse of having Abba, O equals origin of sound, which are the rays. The VE equals vain, vassal. So equals so, like pursue purpose, add self to life. And B equals being, low, LOW equals vibrational state. Okay? That's the Ta'angodu monologal breakdown. Now in Ta'angodu, everything is always erect, so we don't really have bad ways to say bad things. We just give you the English. Okay? Ta'angodu only adds and multiplies. Right? It's not a language, it's not a saying, a tongue that, you know, is about division. So you would say se ra baka, so baka es ra. That means as Ra thoughts shine on erected souls, the souls raise what Ra erected. You understand that? You understand that, Bakas? That's your boy, your ba-oi. Okay, I'll say it again. Se bara. Okay, so Ra's soul is speaking to the Baka. Okay, so Ra's element is thought. So he's sending it to the Baka. That's us. Right? So, sowing is adding ourselves to life. Right? So Baka, right? The Baka is adding itself to life. To raise, est, Ra. Okay? Est is ether, Seta. Okay? So the ether says to your thoughts, this is why it's above all things. This is why in short form, instead of saying ether seta or the or seta, you just go EST. I kept that from the English EAST because by putting the A in between the E and the S, they now have the word east, and that's the artificial ether, says to the ta. So this means that's their AI system because the word sun means say, which is do. They don't put the do. They don't put the D because then you would understand that it would be go do. Right? If you were thinking that the sun was a god, right, and they put the D for say undo, like I say on, right? That's the name of Ra because he says on, right? Then you would make the connection of God being go do. So this is why they say the sun rises in the east, but they never tell you that it means Ra is above all. Okay? Like they want to say the most high. Okay? It's Est Ra. And that's what I call your afro. It's called an Est Ra. Okay? It's not afro. Est Ra equals as Ra thought shine on erected souls. The souls raise what Ra erected. All right? So that basically is as above, so below. You can see the contrast. I think that was an extremely great card. You know, it was a great decode. I really enjoyed doing this decode. And even after doing the decode and finding that video by accident because I couldn't access what was on my phone, actually finding the original quote from the Emerald Tablets and then having to break that down, you know, just basically shows you, you know, that that's all part of the artificial construct. And it then emphasizes why you need to have a sound mind. You're never going to be able to come to these realizations when you're using the word and you're using Google and you're just, you know, using all of the resources, you know, that were intended to keep you in the loop. You have to come out of it. Okay, this is what we need to do. All right, so please support, like, share, comment. Okay, buy the book, The Fall of the God Hue. You can actually buy that in print. I do have that on Amazon. Okay, it's $17. You can get the download. It's a really good book for codes. It's got a few codes in there. And it gives you a good psychological perspective on the Humpty Dumpty, on how, you know, we came to be Humpty Dumpty. All right? And how, Hugh sacrificed himself. All right? Okay? All right. Thanks for watching Ta'anka'u. Don't forget the erectionary.com. Okay? Support, buy, like,